music is such a vast field of knowledge and education that never stops. And the maestro sitting next to me, while we were in the wait of beginning this wonderful evening, was actually rehearsing. And that's what music is. It's a never-ending महासागर जिसे हम कहते हैं. और शायद इसीलिए I'm very, very proud कि Artium Academy का vision है कि वो एक gold standard platform बनाए जिसमें वो deliver करे ऐसा music education जो the music learners around the world who are so in thirst of the right place to go and get trained. This is one platform that gives it to you. We're in a digital world, and this is a digital platform, and I'm so happy to say that we have maestros coming together and having built this curriculum for you, which is so unique because obviously it's enriched by their performance experience, which is like a gold mine, right? And not just that, the fact that this is a one-of-a-kind, academic board, so to say, of Artium. I have to say that Artium Academy has probably made this the most unique combination of maestros, which is why this evening, I must say all the teachers that have been handpicked and trained are also going to be part of this evening's August audience, who have obviously been handheld by our maestros themselves. Let me begin our first maestro session, which is of course a special that we offer to our students who enroll with us right here at Artium. Our chief here, who is a Padma Shri, my very dear, I think the nation and the world's very dear performer, singer, artist, one of a kind, and a man of, with a heart of gold. Sonu Nigam ji, love you so much and thank you.
Thank you for such kind words. Thank you so much. Love you back.
Sonu ji, I think संगीत सीखने के लिए और संगीत में आने के लिए एक medium आज के ज़माने में बहुत ज़रूरी है because when you were growing up, probably the exposure for you was more through even family because your father is in it as well. How happy are you to be part of Artium, and be a family to it in terms of imparting?
First of all, I am so honored to be part of Artium. And I would like to give the entire credit to one person who's the sole reason why I am a part of this community. Ashish Joshi is the one. He has actually brought people together, and that's why we all are here. Secondly, I don't consider myself a master for a master class, honestly. I'm far away from that zone in my head that मैं master बन गया हूँ और आओ मुझसे सीखो या मुझसे कुछ ज्ञान प्राप्त करो वो नहीं है क्योंकि कल पूरी रात I was singing in the studio. I began my second song at 1 o'clock at night. Before that I was doing a ghazal and वो भी एकदम टेढ़ी सी ghazal थी. उसके बाद में कल रात को I was doing a song which was a राग बसंत. अब क्या है यही कारण है कि मैं आरटीएम एकेडमी का हिस्सा हूँ क्योंकि जब हम बड़े हो रहे थे तो उस समय हमें ये सहूलियत नहीं थी कि हमारे फादर या हमारी मम्मी हमको किसी गुरु या उस्ताद के पास में लेकर जाएं और हमें संगीत सिखाएं. आप यकीन नहीं माने कि मैं मेरी माँ की कसम खा के बोलता हूँ कल रात को मैंने राग बसंत सीखा है. मैं 4 बजे घर पे आया हूँ, सब सारों को पता सको. कल रात को मैंने राग बसंत सीखा है. मैं कहाँ से मास्टर हो गया? तो आरटीएम का मकसद ही ये है कि जिन लोग मैं 48 का हो गया हूँ मैं राग बसंत कल रात को सीख रहा हूँ. सुना है, मुझे मालूम है कि हाँ ऐसा होता है, बट पहली बार गाया है ज़िंदगी में कि अरे ये नोट नहीं लगाओ, ये अवरोह ठीक नहीं है, यहाँ से पंचम में मत जाओ, यहाँ से सीधा. ये कल रात को मैं सीख रहा था. आई एम सो like sometimes I'm upset at this fact and the harsh reality of my life that I never got a chance to educate myself theoretically in music. I would have been somewhere else today if I knew पलटी कैसे होती मारी जाती है बचपन में. हम तो सुन के बड़े हुए. रफ़ी साहब को, लता जी को, आशा जी को, गुलाम अली जी को, पंकज राज जी को, अनूप जलोटा जी को, सुरेश वाडकर जी को, हरिहरन जी को. हमारे उस्ताद लोग हैं. हम बड़े हो रहे थे तो हम मोहम्मद अजीज़ जी, शबीर कुमार जी, कुमार शाह, उदित नारायण, हम सुन के वेस्टर्न सिंगर सुन रहे हैं, माइकल जैक्सन सुन रहे हैं, दूसरे बैंड्रो सुन रहे हैं, माइकल बोल्टन सुन रहे हैं, सुन के बड़े हुए हैं. लेकिन द एसेंस ऑफ म्यूज़िक कल मैं when I came back home I just could not sleep. I have hardly slept today because something was enlightened inside me, and the whole zone of the Rag Basant और मैं गा रहा हूँ, मुझे गवाया जा रहा है, और it was so beautiful, and this is
Wow.
why Artium was required in this world,
I
so
think-
that people don't have to go to
Yeah.
go somewhere, and they
But
can
this
just
is-
get music education in the house.
This is a sign of a true artist who lives in the moment, who is excited by his craft. And you have met some of the most amazing artists in our country, in the world, in fact.
Yeah, I'm very lucky, very lucky.
What is the one factor जो आपको common लगता है, common thread amongst all these greats? जो एक चीज़ आपको लगती है बहुत similar है सब में?
I'll have to answer this very, very brutally, honestly. There are lot of geniuses in the world, genii in the world. But I have noticed, I won't name, otherwise जिनका नाम मिले वो बोलेंगे मेरा नाम नहीं लिया. But जो really, 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 really दैवीय होते हैं ना, जो really blessed होते हैं, they're really sensible, intelligent, philosophically on a higher space. I've seen that. I have never met a man who's a genius
And not have
and talking crass or talking mediocre. I've always seen that wisdom in their eyes and that sensibility in their in the words that they choose to speak. तो वो मैंने कॉमन चीज़ देखी है. बाकी मेहनत तो बहुत लोग करते हैं. मेहनत तो वो भी करते हैं जो फिलोसफिकली हाई नहीं होते, और वो भी करते हैं जो बहुत जस्ट who are in the business just to beat others.
Yeah.
सबक सिखाऊंगा, मैं कामयाब हो जाऊंगा, फिर देखना तुमको टाइम, मेरा टाइम आएगा, मैं दिखाऊंगा. एक लोग उस वजह से भी मेहनत करते हैं. उसको मैं ठीक नहीं बोलता. समझदार वो होते हैं जो मेहनत करते हैं अपने लिए कि मुझे करना है, मुझे अच्छा गाना है. So I have seen people who are really, really special.
Yeah.
They behave on a higher level.
That's a beautiful insight. And now let me just tell you how we are taking this masterclass with Sonuji. We're doing this in 3 parts. It's important, like he just said, to understand the mindset, to get that entry into, from his rich experience of not just singing, performing, co-creating music, and working with the legends, but he is an observer. I've seen him. He's a great listener. I think that's what makes him, and of course, greats like him, that sets them apart. I think understanding comes from listening. You will get to know that from Sonuji. But understanding ke baad training ki baat aati hai. That's probably where our academy is set apart, because we're here to train, to take you through that process that probably even Sonuji didn't have the access to. And we will have you perform today, which is something I'm looking forward to. Sonuji, understanding के process में, क्योंकि आपने maestros की बात की, उनके mindset की बात की, मुझे ऐसे लगता है कि to develop a sustainable career in playback singing, especially because we're talking about playback. Is it a possibility today, because there's so much you have to give in to be a playback singer?
Music is an extension of mathematics.
Yeah.
I always feel the cosmos has one design, and then it kind of manifests into various forms. So mathematics is eternal. Music is eternal. You will never reach a point when you will say that I have solved all possible equations in mathematics. You will never reach a point in music when you will be able to claim that now this is the last piece of music made. Nothing more can be made because everything has been made. It's never possible.
Yeah.
Similarly, poetry. You will never reach a point where you say that I have covered all aspects and all the permutation combination of the words have been done.
Yeah.
It's like that. Can you imagine? Nobody has ever thought about like painting, sculpturing. You will never say that everything possible in the world has been made. Similarly, music. Playback, as what we call playback in India, is actually referred as light music, honestly, in the correct word. Playback is what? Film ke playback mein gana hua. But you say lighter music, but even light has so many bifurcations, so many categories. How light? Now, Ketaki Gulab Juhi Pang, that's a film song, but that's not playback. That's a playback music, but that's a classical song. So, there are so many segments of Indian music, especially ghazals, qawwali, bhajan. Every zone has its own expertise. But if you have, I won't say, you don't need to really become a ustad or pandit in classical, but if you have the basic grounding
Yeah.
of good classical music, it's almost like you've seen a relay race, right?
Yeah.
So there are four runners
Yeah.
covering up the distance. So the third runner has covered his part, the second has covered his part, the first part. The fourth one doesn't have to go all the four
All of
circles.
us, yeah.
You see, the baton is given, and the fourth one just does his job and goes to the end. So he's the 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 first three parts of the race has been covered by the three people. That's what it means when you impart music education to the next generation.
Yeah.
What we have learned through our journey is told to them in a very short span, that you know what, we figured out in 25 30 years, and here's the catch, go learn.
So are you saying that professional singing in Bollywood, in films, in the industry, requires you to have all the aspects of, like you said, it can be classical to light, like you said, how light or how classical?
You must.
Yeah.
You cannot take classical music lightly. Even though I haven't learnt music, but I have known the value of classical music, and the whole world knows how much classical music I've listened to in my life. From Salamat Ali Khan Sahab to Bhim Singh Joshi ji to Ajay Chakrabarti ji, and I love Kaushiki. There's so many great people that I've learnt just by listening. But if you get given a chance, even I'd like to enroll in Artium, my own academy, and learn from the students over here, because they know music much more than me. So I'm just their face, and I'm someone who really respects music and respects classical music. But yeah, learning classical music, you cannot take that lightly. You have to learn classical music.
Now, Sonu ji, इतने लोग आपको सुन के शायद singers बनने की
English.
इच्छा रखते होंगे.
English.
Yes. May I ask you, who have been your mentors in life, who you've listened to and you felt, that's it, I'm so going to be a singer? There must be those voices that literally made that foundation of, I want to be a singer in you.
Good. Honestly, first of all, you don't need any inspiration to be a singer if you are born a singer.
Yeah.
I was born a singer.
Yeah.
It was in my head. I remember my train journeys, and I'm looking out of the window, and this is what I'm doing. And my mother said, "Kya kar rahe? What are you doing from your mouth?"
Oh my God.
And this is my mother was marugi tere ko main. So when you're born a singer, you are crazy.
Yeah.
Then you're hearing a sound of a cotton weaving machine. Down, 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 down. Every singer, every musician is like this.
Yeah.
Somebody's hammering a nail. आपके मन में जी चल रहा होता है, ऑफ बीट चल रही होती है उसकी. You have the off beat in your head. So yes, I was born a singer, but my father, my mother, I'm lucky that I was born in a family, and my mother had still learnt music. My dad hasn't still learnt music, but they were very sensible singers. My dad is still.
Yeah.
My mother passed away 9 years back. But they were very sensible people who just didn't sing. They appreciated good singers, the worthy singers. So जब आपके रोल मॉडल्स आपके माँ बाप हो और उनके रोल मॉडल्स द बेस्ट हो, तो क्या होता है, then you get them, आपकी विरासत में आपको मिलता है, as a heritage में मिलता है आपको. So रफ़ी साहब, लता जी, मुकेश जी, आशा जी, किशोर कुमार जी, मन्ना डे साहब, हेमंत कुमार जी, तलत महमूद जी.
Oh, ये गाने घर पे चलते थे इनके?
Of course. The thing is, at that time, we used to listen to the songs on radios, but then my father bought us a cassette recorder.
Yeah.
So whenever there would be good song, we'd record it on the cassette. So then we would have that song we would listen to it, whenever we want to.
Ji.
So this is how our childhood passed. And then as I grew up, my mother said, "Beta, now ghazals are coming up and bhajans are coming up, so you should listen to Pankaj Udas ji and you should listen to Anup Arora ji." So then at that age, I learned all the songs. Even today, when about 8-9 years back, I was sitting with Pankaj ji. Pankaj ji had forgotten his own songs. I was playing the piano, his music pieces also I was singing. So I know all the chord chord transitions of his songs and the music basis. कब संतूर आएगा, कब तबले का क्या ठेका है, यहाँ पे आपने सांस लिए है, यहाँ आपने सांस, अरे तुम्हें सब पता है सोनू, हाउ डू यू नो ऑल दिस? सो आई हैव यू नो, आह क्या बात है, पीछे से एक और सुर की आवाज़ है। काफ़ी शांत है स्टूडियो पड़ा, मैं देख रहा हूँ।
But if I have to ask you this, there are lots of people singing in our country, whether it's somebody trying to sell something. Do you remember those sounds? Because those were like very high pitched, जैसे केला ले लो या whatever. You know those people?
हाँ, उसका मेरे पास थ्योरी है। अगर चलो काम की बात करते हैं थोड़ा सा, मैं भी बताता हूँ आपको। See, have you ever noticed why all the road vendors, street vendors, they have the same voice. Nobody will say, "Aloo le lo."
आलू ले लो, आलू ले लो, आएगा आपको। आलू, छोले, कुलचे, आइसक्रीम,
ऐसे आता है आपको। So ये when you इसमें effort कम लगता है, but
ए करने से आपकी आवाज़ थोड़ी मोटी हो जाती है और आपका एफर्ट कम लगता है और वॉल्यूम लाउड हो जाता है। ये वॉल्यूम लाउड हो जाता है।
I remember when we were in Bombay, we were kids.
ये भांडी ये वाला, यस ये
तो I was just, इसकी आवाज़ इतनी loud कैसे आती है? How is he so loud? So for me, it was not just about copying him. I used to wonder why is he sounding so loud and doesn't he get tired, you know, belting out his voice? So then later I realized that there are certain tones. If you see qawwals,
मैं हीरो था कि फितनों का शादी से पहले, हाँ हंगामा कितनों का शादी से पहले, बड़ी खूबसूरत थी जवानी की रातें, तो के ऐसे बात करेंगे तो आवाज़ लाउड आती है और कव्वाली में लाउड गाना पड़ेगा, ऐसा होता है।
और जगजीत जी गए, तुम इतना जो मुस्कुरा रहे हो। So Jagjeet ji doesn't need to be loud because he's singing ghazal.
अरे तुम इतना क्यों मुस्कुरा रहे हो,
फिर वो गाना बदल जाएगा। So there are so many types of voice modulation even in our day-to-day life that we see.
चाय चाय चाय,
You'll never say चाय ले लो, कोई नहीं बोलेगा सर, कोई
आवाज़ गई
नहीं। You'll never, हाँ गलत फट जाएगा आपका। In half an hour you scream चाय ले लो, फट जाएगा।
चाय चाय चाय,
आप पूरा दिन करके नहीं थकेगा बोलो।
Wow.
So it's like, so these are modulations. So हाँ,
ये देसी everyday people की मैं बात
Yes,
कर रही
everyday
थी,
people.
because he's too good. What about international? Because I know you do your English very well, and I bet there were performers, and you perform very well. I think your performance is par excellence to any international superstar.
no, I think I'm better
Yeah, that's what.
because I sing a lot of different kind of songs.
Yeah.
They have their own genres, but
Yeah.
I do their genres too.
Yeah.
But that doesn't. I'm not boasting about it. I'm just telling you how much I've studied them. I mean,
Well, you can tell by the way I use my walk. I'm a woman's man, no time to talk. Music loud and women walk. I've been kicked around since I was one.
I used to do this song on. हम लोग सब करते थे इस गाने को, याद है? Staying Alive करते स्टेज पे. And उसके बाद उसके पहले मेरा रंग दे बसंती चोला. हम तो कितने हमने वेरिएशंस कर रखे हैं ना, अभिलाष? कितना हम लोग different. So yes, I've studied them a lot. The initial inspiration, English music came very late in my life because we were so typical Indian families. कहाँ दिल्ली में कहाँ English music सुनते हैं? We were not from South Delhi or सब जहाँ पे, and we were middle class families. Middle class families are normally into Indian film music or classical music or ghazals and bhajans and all. But when I reached my 9th standard, that's when I first heard, you know, you're not good, can't you see, brother Louis Louis. Words वो पता नहीं थे हम जो Louis. It's just Louis.
I'm bad, I'm always bad. You know,
क्या बोला? I have no clue still. What did he say? I don't know how to understand. But yes, these were our initial influences. There was one song of George Benson I used to love that. Nothing's gonna change my love for you. You ought to know by now how much I love you. So I realized, what a beautiful, different kind of music. And I got attracted to that too. Later on, I used that influence in my playback music. So when I did Ye Dil Deewana or, you know, all the various different kinds of music that I did on a songs which needed a little westernized
Yeah.
intonation, I used that inspiration of mine.
You remember pitch so quickly, it's easy for you to pick it up, right? Because
Copycat loon,
नहीं,
inspiration.
I'm saying in terms of understanding and delivering in that sense. And we want this aspect to come out right now.
You know,
to
how,
remember.
you know, Archana, how it happens? It happens when you respect the other singer.
Yeah.
There are people who waste a lot of time criticizing people.
Yeah.
Analyzing is good. I analyze people. Okay, this Asha ji has this plus point, Lata ji has this plus point. Okay, now I'm analyzing it for my sake.
Yeah.
I'm not saying Asha ji is better than Lata ji is better. This is where people lose it completely.
Yeah.
You have to respect the entity and
Pick from
unknowingly you will pick the blessings from that entity.
Wow.
So for example, there is a song which I sang in मुझे कुछ कहना है
Yeah.
film. इस प्यार को मैं क्या नाम दूँ? अब ये गाना मैंने किसकी जगह? How? Just make a guess. Who's my inspiration for this song? Make a wild guess. I wish I could ask the people over here.
Yeah.
Can you guess? Can you guess? Can you?
Any
हाँ, जी, Lucky Ali लिखा उसने. Lucky Ali.
Oh my God.
Yes, Lucky Ali. Who's this guy? Just लिखा.
Oh
So
my God, wow.
yeah. So my inspiration for this song is Lucky Ali. So here come the शाम सवेरे तेरी यादें आती है, मेरा दिल तड़पाती है, ओ सनम मोहब्बत की कसम. I liked his style.
Because he's taking
तो मैंने
the...
इस प्यार को मैं क्या नाम दूँ, ओ बेचैन दिल को कैसे आराम दूँ, ओ बेचैन दिल को कैसे आराम दूँ, ओ शाम सवेरे तेरी यादें आती हैं. See, it's the same style. So you have to respect. If I would have said, अरे क्या लकी अली क्या कहता है यार, तब मैं नया आया था, I am better. ऐसे थोड़ी बोल सकते हैं. You have to respect the person, and then the person blesses you with his or her talent or bliss. Everybody is blessed. You bless in your own way. People listening to us, they bless in their own way. How can you say that I'm the best? So you have to learn. To be able to learn, you have to respect the person.
But jab Asliyat, when you come down to going to a studio and understanding a new song which you've never been given before, and you were given this song and you gave it your dhancha, you gave it your understanding. How do you understand a new tune? How do you make it your own?
I don't know really.
It's tough, right?
I feel there becomes a point when you become
One with
your
it, yeah.
job.
Yeah.
You become that song. The song is you.
Yeah.
So, and as I'm growing older, I'm getting all the more into that space. Perhaps I was more into technical aspect of singing when I was doing Sandesya Aate in 1996 because it released in 97. I was technically working on myself, but now I have tears when I'm singing. I get lost. I am like in one with myself, and when I come back to my house after singing some really intricate, difficult songs, I come back home instead of feeling tired. I'm awake like this.
Yeah.
I don't want to watch TV. I don't want to check my phone. I just like this. So you become one. I don't know how I pick it up. It just happens. I don't know. It just happens.
Initial days, if you have any memory, jab aap jaate ho and you get this new song and you're like, okay. So you said technically, right?
Technically, learning a song was never an issue with me.
Okay.
In fact, it's getting even better now. In fact, it was I won't name the composers, and I would like to tell the youngsters over here, there's one thing which I learned very late in my life. When you're working for a composer, always take care of his ego, his self-respect. Don't learn a song so fast. They feel bad about it. So you have to pretend. You have to pretend that, oh, wow, it's a difficult song, wow. Even if you've grasped it the very first time, say, okay, I have, क्या difficult है आप में यार, फिर से सुनो. Please, because I have...
Sonuji, I'm
I've
sorry
done
to say
this.
this. No, nobody's as fast as you. They will need to hear it 2-3 times.
No, but I'm sure there are a lot of people who are smart and very quick and maybe quicker than me. But I learned it and I realized these guys never worked with me again. They never called me. 2-3 songs they needed me for like when they really needed me, they called me for 2-3 songs. Then they just didn't want to call me. अरे Sonu Nigam, कोई चीज़ नई को try करते हैं. Let's try somebody new because नया will come सर जी करके और then he will say sir गाना याद नहीं हो रहा मुझे नहीं हो रहा. So I realized no, actually I'm not. If you understand, I'm telling it humorously.
Yeah.
But I'm giving you a lesson for life. You must understand that the other person doesn't want your genius. The other person wants
To
your
show them.
camaraderie. Your camaraderie. He wants to jam with you. He wants to sit with you. He wants to work with you. He doesn't want to make. He doesn't want you to make him feel that his work is so meager and so simple that it is middle to ऐसे काम. You understand? So when you're working with a partner, music composer is a partner, lyrics writer is a partner. You cannot show your genius and walk away. I've done that because I used to do 6-7 songs at an average every day. So I had to rush. So I would do a song in 20 minutes and everything. But I feel today that a lot of people did not work with me again because they felt that I was kind of arrogant, cocky because I sang a song in one take. अरे क्या एक टेप में गा चला गया यार वो उसने को इतना टाइम लगाया. The other guy took 2.5 hours to sing 3 hours. For them, the other guy who took 2.5-3 hours सुर में जा रहा है ना सुर चल रहा है. मेहनत कर रहा है आदमी यार. सोनू निगम क्या
अच्छा, this is like that office में जब आप 10 घंटे लगाओ, you are a better worker.
I'm telling you, this is what I've realized. Yeah. So when you reach that stage of singing back-to-back songs, take your time. Take your time. Don't rush.
Lata ji had said, लफ्ज़ों पे ध्यान दो. Words are so important. How you say it, how you emote them, and understanding those words, understanding the situation in the film. How important is all of this?
I'm gonna really admit it's an honest confession, and please don't judge me for this. A lot of times I've understood the meaning of a song after that song has become a hit. Yeah, because for me, I go on this. Okay, यहाँ पे हवा है. Okay, यहाँ सांस. I know it's a romantic song.
Yeah.
I understand. So I understand. It's not like even like I was doing a Kannada song, 2 Kannada songs day before yesterday, and every song either I do in Kannada or Tamil. I'm supposed to do a Telugu song. So I was doing Hindi yesterday, but I've done 32 languages from Sanskrit to Dutch to so. But I asked the meaning of the song. So she's right. But I'm telling you, I ask the meaning of the songs that I don't know the language of.
Yeah.
But a lot of times, I realized much later, maybe probably I grew older, I think.
Yeah.
I understood the real crux of the lyrics that I sang 10 years back. I said, oh my God, the lyrics meant this.
But then do you feel bad that you missed out on how you said that word? Because I know you also do that. You use the
Obviously.
word to emote it the way you want to.
Asha, nothing can be perfect. Everything can be bettered. Everything can be
Yeah, that's
bettered.
true.
So when you evolve, you realize, oh my God, I could have done this better. I could have
Yeah.
expressed it better. But at that time, you can't blame yourself.
Yeah.
You see, when you're traveling from Delhi to Mumbai,
Yeah.
okay, you can't blame yourself that you've just reached Agra. Okay, you have to go through Agra to reach to Bombay, whatever. Agra पहले तक बाद में आते मुझे whatever. So in between, whatever. So I had to travel from that journey to reach here. So I'm not sorry for that. I just knew that much at
No, I'm
that
just
point.
asking, is it important? Because I know, जैसे आपने एक बारी बोला था, आते जाते, like you had said it like someone's coming and someone's going. So is it important to give that tawajjuh?
100%.
Yeah.
100%. That's what I'm saying. I might have not understood the real depth of the lyrics, but of course I make sure, and that's my schooling from my father, Mr. Agam Kumar Nigam. He's the one who's taught me to observe Rafi Sahab, to observe Lata ji, to observe Kishore Kumar ji. Even like Mukesh ji, one of the most underrated, I would say,
Yeah.
today. Not then. Back then
Yeah.
he was always. Today people don't really understand the glory and greatness of Mukesh ji. These people were masters of, how to project their voices and how to, जैसे words को उठा के रख दिया. जुबां पे दर्द भरी दास्तां चली, अब चली नहीं चली, चली और चली आई, फर्क है इसमें. This little chali makes you a mature singer. जुबां पे दर्द भरी दास्तां चली नहीं, जुबां पे दर्द भरी दास्तां चली. This little चली makes you from a normal singer you go ये बड़े ग्रेड का सिंगर ऐसा होता है. So we learn from these people, all these little barikis.